I'm trying to spend these last segments again, just kind of deep diving into some of these conversations and topics that I feel like just they're ridiculous, obviously, but I feel like they still need attention because they have some merit to the conversation, but they've just gone so far left. I need to interject. And yesterday I talked about the Derrick Rose 2011 MVP, which I think is just being so rewritten in history in a way that is just unfair to the time and the context of when he actually won that award. And I do a segment called Why Would He Say That? And part of that is my pushback to where a lot of these media personalities to me have just kind of gotten out of hand, and the things that they say, they're not just strong takes or hot takes. They derive on lunacy and being outlandish and trying to get clicks. Here's the thing, and this is one of the worst things that ever happened to sports media and probably media in general. Because we can see views, because we can see subscribers, because we can see totals of things, like when you go onto someone's Patreon or their Twitch channel or their YouTube, it has turned the people covering the sports into their own version of celebrities. And not saying people don't have the right to be credited for what they're bringing to the table, but the reality is when the sports media members like a Stephen A., like a Nick Wright, like some of these guys, think they are bigger than the sport itself that they are covering, we've lost the plot. Sports shows and coverage of the shows will never be bigger than the actual sports themselves. That's impossible. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's insanity at its finest. With that being, this is why someone like Stephen A has become so insufferable, because every time somebody questions what he says on a show or questions his opinion or says, hey man, I think you're wrong, he goes, well, look at my numbers. Look at how many people are listening to me. That's not a justification as to why you are right, wrong, or otherwise. All that shows is you can be entertaining, you've already got an established platform, and people are coming to watch you for whatever the reason. I said yesterday, he's turned his campaign into I'm going to say something clearly wrong, outlandish, etc., wait for somebody to respond, and the response then becomes the focus of his next show. He is creating his own content in that way. But Stephen A is not a bigger star than any NBA player. I don't care if it's a guy sitting on the bench. Nobody in the media, when you are covering something, you are not a bigger star or a bigger deal than the people who actually produce the content. That is the reality. That has always been true. That will stay true. Where it becomes an even bigger issue is when you got guys, and again, some people truly feel like that. And this is why so many athletes push back on so many of these claims, is because if you're one of those guys who are going to damn everybody when they have a bad game, like he's been doing, like Stephen A's been doing with the Knicks. Josh Hart, you're not playing well. Oh, Mikal Bridges, you're not playing well. How many bad shows do you think you have as a media personality? How many times do you think you get on TV and it's like, man, that wasn't a great performance? That would have been my less than 10 points, less than 10 rebounds, not so productive, plus minus in the dirt. And if somebody was allowed to critique you, it'd be obvious, and they would go, oh man, yeah, no, he was bad today. Stephen A didn't have it today. Low energy, wasn't really exciting, didn't bring any information to the table. Bad performance. And if they did it in the manner of which you do, oh man, he was horrible. Just an all-time forgettable game, all-time forgettable show. Like, why'd he even bother showing up? Why'd they even turn the cameras on? You didn't even have to pay the light bill. You could have just done that in the dark. Because that's not reciprocal, because they can't, and when they do it, they get so offended, even though it's what they make a living doing. Like, this is the problem when guys are allowed to create these super personalities off of, well, I've got numbers, I've got people listening, I've got X amount of subscribers, I got X amount of followers. That doesn't justify all your actions. And again, you are not bigger. Again, Stephen A. Smith's own words. I am bigger than when he was having issue, when he was upset that the probably a young 20-year-old, even potentially a teenager, running the Pelican social media account, posted a video of him doing non-athletic stuff. And he's like, I am more famous and I am bigger than every person on your team besides Zion Williamson. No, you're not. You're just not. You're not bigger than Trey Murphy has a $100 million contract in the NBA. DeJounte Murray is a multiple-time All-Star. He's been a part of the Spurs. Yes, he's been injured the last couple of years, but he is a high-level NBA player. You're not a bigger star than DeJounte Murray. You're not a bigger star than Trey Murphy. You're not a bigger star than promising rookies Derek Quinn or Jeremiah Fears. I don't care how many people claim to watch First Take in the morning. Like, we have to separate what sports shows do and what actual athletes are doing. There's a difference. You are not bigger than the content that they have to produce for you to exist. That's the reality. They're making the content. They are making their performances are why you can have a show. Let's be honest, man. I mean, if you want to be a part of one of the coolest, most unique communities, don't forget to like and subscribe.